Welcome back to my channel. I'm James, and today I'm excited to announce we're gonna deep dive into Real Genius on 4K Ultra HD from Sony. Now, this is one of those 4K Ultra HD releases that really just kind of came out of nowhere and took me by surprise. It was one of those I never ever thought we'd see, a full 4K restoration, a brand new 4K scan on 4K Ultra HD. But it's here, and today I'm going to show you my exclusive 4K versus the original Blu-ray release image comparisons. I'm going to let you know if this is actually worth buying, and let you know the review score of how this compares to hundreds of other 4Ks I've reviewed and tested out exclusively here on my YouTube channel. Now, if you haven't done so already, make sure to go down and give this video a thumbs up and a like for me. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. That way you always get to view all of this content right away when it comes out. All of these exclusive videos that I've done hundreds of these exclusively here on my YouTube channel. Now to start off with here, we're going to start off with my original Blu-ray release here. Now this was one of those Blu-rays that was out for a while, but it wasn't a hugely widely released release in stores. It was kind of one of those you had to buy from online retailers and things like that, and it wasn't, to be honest with you, an amazing transfer, as you can see above. It had a very soft image, and it was kind of a almost grayish, greenish color saturation or tone to it. Now, it's not so heavy that everything looked green, like gooey green or dark green. It's just kind of the overall film tone of it. Just was never gorgeous, and it didn't have the proper skin tones or anything like that, which you're going to find out here in a second when I get to the 4K why that makes a difference. But I wanted to start off with the image above so you can see that. Now, in comparison to the new 4K Ultra HD release that they've done a brand new 4K scan from the original camera negatives, man, does it look night and day different. Now, the big differences come into play with basically the brand new color grading they did. Obviously, going back and scanning the original camera negatives to create this new 4K, this is a native 4K 2160p. But as you can see in the skin tones, it's a drastic difference with the color change based on them doing that brand new color grading for both the Dolby Vision and the HDR10 that's on this. And I'll talk about the HDR grading and things like that here just a little bit later, but I want to touch on this color grading here to get you an idea of why this makes such a big difference. As you can see in their skin tones, it makes them look alive and lifelike and realistic. And for a film like this, in case you haven't seen this film, Real Genius is really one of those fun, comedic, and very enjoyable 1985 films that has Val Kilmer when he's young in it, and it's just one of those films that you sit back and you watch and you have a blast watching it. It is fun and enjoyable, and something that when you watch this, you get done with it and you say, man, that was just a great time. And it's a lot of things that I feel like a lot of films nowadays, modern films, just can't replicate like the films from the 80s and so on. And that's why, as most of you know, I am a ginormous, huge fan of everything from the 80s. Now, that doesn't affect my review score just because I'm a fan of the movie, but I'm talking about the movie itself. Whether you have it on Blu-ray, DVD, I don't care. As far as the actual film itself, it's a good, enjoyable film that you'll watch over and over again because it is lighthearted and something fun you can put in at night, watch with the family, have a fun time, and the comedic stuff in it with the sci-fi elements really made it fun. So I'm not going to give away the whole movie because if you haven't seen it yet, it does have some cool little twists in it, and there's some little cool like effects and things they have in it for a 1985 movie that kind of just really endear it. And that's kind of what goes into the cover art that they created for this, which I'll talk about a little bit later on as well. Now, if after you get done watching this review, you do want to buy this set, make sure to go down to the description section right below, or as a pinned comment in the comment section below. I have posted the Amazon links that take you directly to Amazon to buy your copy. It's on sale for the same prices everywhere, and when you click through those links, there's no extra charge to you when you click through those, but it does help to support this YouTube channel just a tiny bit. So if you do decide after hearing my review score at the end of this review, and you decide you want to buy this, please make sure to go down to either the description section right below this video or the pinned comment in the comment section below and click through that to order your copy. Now, touching on some other things about the image, this does get, as I said, a Dolby Vision and an HDR10 representation on it for the HDR grading, and they look really outstanding. As I've mentioned hundreds of times over the years when I've detailed how these image comparisons are created, the images you see above are the native images that's present on the Blu-ray and the 4K Ultra HD disc, but Keep in mind, with HDR content, YouTube always dumbs it down to standard HDR. So it doesn't matter if it's HDR10, HDR10 Plus, or Dolby Vision. It always gets dumbed down to a standard HDR screenshot. So no matter what you see up there above, it's only going to look better on the 4K release than it does what you see there. So when you see that, it will look even that much better when you watch it on your home TV. But keep in mind, your Blu-ray, that's a standard image anyway, so the only thing you do with that is, if you want to pump up your color on your TV, which is the unnatural way it's supposed to look, you can try to make the image on the Blu-ray look better, but it's never going to be that native 4K 2160p that this has on it. And the new scan they did on this, man, is it really good looking. As I said at the beginning, this is one of those 4K Ultra HD releases that really just shocked and surprised me that we even got. I'm happy we did, but it really surprised me. It kind of came out of the blue, the announcement for it. But that's where I kind of find things like this exciting, is to get releases like this that you just weren't expecting, of films that are just fun and enjoyable to watch over and over again. Now, between the Dolby Vision and the HDR10 transfer, there was some slight differences. I will say the Dolby Vision had a little bit better color saturation than the HDR10, but I'd probably say it was only about a 5% visual difference that I could tell between the two of them, and it's not heavy. It's not like 10, 20, 30% difference. So the Dolby Vision just had a slight one up over the HDR10 that's on this, but both of them are such a huge night and day upgrade over what the Blu-ray had that there's really no comparison. I mean, honestly, this is probably one of the most drastic differences you can see. Even compared to like the Star Trek ones, that was a huge difference too, because like you see on this here, I mean, it was a dull image. It was really, really just ugly, I thought, personally, for the film. It made all the colors just kind of ugly looking. Well, on the 4K, the new color grading really does look outstanding for this. Now, they did keep this in the original aspect ratio, and that's 2.39 to 1. They didn't change it or cut it down at all. That's the original aspect ratio that it was filmed at. So there was no issues with that at all. Now, a really nice surprise on this release, another thing that Sony did. They gave us 2 cuts of the film. And that's surprising for Real Genius, because to be honest with you, I only remembered seeing the theatrical cut. Well, you get the theatrical cut, and you get the TV version, which is a completely different cut. So it was nice that we got both options on that. So something that was exciting was to get both cuts of the film on 4K Ultra HD as well. Now, another huge surprise was on this, we got an English Dolby Atmos mix. Now, as most of you know, I'm a big fan of Dolby Atmos when it's done correctly. I will say for Real Genius, especially some of the scenes like when they're having the party, and I'm not trying to give things away, but when they're having the big like inside beach party and different things like with the lasers and things like that, they did a really good job implementing it, not in kind of a like cheap junky way, but it actually added some cool elements with the Dolby Atmos to this that I was surprised they put that much love and care into this release of Real Genius. Because I said, the Dolby Vision looked real good. Now the Dolby Atmos sounded good as well. Now it's not, again, reference quality. Because again, you're limited by what originally existed, them trying to move around based on where the image is, where that Dolby Atmos should be. And they're doing that on their own. But the person that worked on this did a good job. That it actually surprised me in some scenes where I could hear things coming from above, coming from different angles, and just, I liked it. I thought the Dolby Atmos was a really fun addition to this. Now, you also get a DTS HD Master Audio in English 5.1 and a 2.0 mix. So again, tons of different audio options depending on what you want to listen to, whether you want the original, whether you want 5.1 or Atmos. They gave you all of those options. You get over 7 other audio and language options in other languages. So basically, no matter where you live worldwide, you can watch it on any single player you have, because all of the discs in here, both the Blu-ray and the 4K Ultra HD, are region free. I tested them exclusively in all my players, my region A, my region B, my region C, my region free, and my multi-region, and it played through all of them seamlessly. And they gave you all the different audio options as well. Another nice bonus, subtitles. You get English as well as 24 other languages as subtitles that are options on the 4K Ultra HD as well. Now, I am going to touch on the Blu-ray disc that's in here. I get a lot of questions about what's the difference on the Blu-ray disc. This does contain a new Blu-ray, not the original Blu-ray. So Sony stepping it up and giving us another big bonus is, instead of just throwing in the old Blu-ray, they gave us a new Blu-ray with the new scan of the new 4K scan, just dumbed down to 1080p on the Blu-ray disc that's in here as well. And it's region free, like I said as well. So you get to access both discs all the special features, all the language options, subtitle options, with no region locking whatsoever. Now, showing you another thing that's my favorite is this kind of slightly metallic new cover art they created for this release. Now, I will touch on this. This is one of those limited edition printed slipcovers. Sony is not going to print this slipcover for very long. And then afterwards, when the slipcover's out of print, you're only going to get it with this case artwork on it. So keep that in mind. If you are one of these collectors like myself that loves these limited edition slipcovers, you are going to want to pick this up and buy this as soon as possible after you watch my review, because this slipcover will go out of print. Now, as I said, those links will be listed down below in the description section and as a pinned comment. So if you do decide to pick it up, make sure to click down below. Now, talking about this slipcover, I loved the artwork on this. Man, is this so retro, sci-fi 80s coolness on this. All of it. I mean, Val Kilmer's character, the lasers and the purple and the blue, and I really think Sony did probably one of my favorite slipcovers I've seen on a release yet, and I think it's so cool. I mean, to me, it's an essence of what I grew up on, and I loved it. It says Real Genius on the side here, and then on the back here it talks about your special features. It's got balloon share deleted scenes, raw outtakes, obviously your TV version cut, commentary with original director Martha Coolidge. Now, showing you this is the other artwork that's on. This is what'll be available later on after the slipcover goes out of print. This is what you'll see, and I'm really not a fan of this artwork. It's okay, I get the joke behind it because he's a genius, Val Kilmer's character and Einstein, and they're wearing each other's shirts. I get that, it's cute, but it's not nearly as cool to me or as unique as the slipcover artwork is. On the side it says Real Genius, Val Kilmer's face, and then the back is the same stuff that we had on the back of the actual slipcover. Now, this does include a digital copy for Movies Anywhere, and it's a 4K digital copy that is included in here as well. Now, when you get inside, you get new artwork for the Blu-ray and the 4K Ultra HD disc, and like I already said, they are both region-free after all my exclusive testing. Now, touching on the 4K disc in this, I have some exciting news about that as well. They didn't over-compress the content at all. It is on a BD100, so the nice thing is, we didn't get something that was dumbed down and shoved onto with too many cuts of the film onto a smaller disc like a BD66. Sony did a great job with that and gave us a BD100. Talking about the film grain in this, the film grain in this was really nice. It was very refined and stable throughout most of the entire film. There was only some very, very slight instances of instabilities that were very, very light. So I'm being nitpicky here for all of you, but they were really, really insignificant, and the film looked outstanding. They didn't use DNR. The film grain was nice there. The details and textures on their faces you could see clearly because they left the film grain there, but they did a great job not over compressing it, kind of like what I talked about with Studio Canal's Fog release recently. And if you haven't checked out that review yet, you need to go check out that one. That one's a really unique comparison, just like what I did on Escape from New York, another great classic 80s films. As most of you know, I love 80s. But anyhow, I love those 4K versus 4K comparisons. If you haven't checked out any of those, like the Escape from New York one, the Fog, I've done hundreds of them over the years. But that one, Studio Canal actually did an overcompression on their 4K release by putting it on a smaller disc. Happy to say Sony did not do that with this. This, because of the cuts of the film, the special features, they used a disc that was large enough, which makes a big difference on what you see and what's presented on your screen, especially with film grain and things like that. Not over compressing it makes it so that way, just like this release, there wasn't any blocking. There wasn't issues with compression where it would cause like the film grain to clump on it. There wasn't any clumping. Overall, it looked really nice. Now, talking about the HDR10 and Dolby Vision and black levels, things like that. The black levels were really nice on this. There was no black crush. There was no banding. There was no areas where it was at night, where they were outside the campus or things like that, where it was so dark, where it caused it to be where it would just be black crush everywhere. The HDR10 and that Dolby Vision implementation, both of them didn't have black crush at all, and it looked really, really fantastic. Now, like I was talking about with the audio, I really felt like the Dolby Atmos mix added something really cool to this and added some really cool like spatial effects to the sound where it was kind of moving around. And it really felt like a substantial addition to the 4K Ultra HD release that added another real big benefit to this 4K release. Now, for a film that came out in 1985, going back to the original film elements and doing this brand new scan and 4K restoration really, really does shine through phenomenally well in this 4K. My review score for Real Genius on 4K Ultra HD is an amazing 9.8. You must buy this one. This one, if you haven't seen the film, just the transfer, the way it looked, what they did with it, the things they've given us on this release, the price point of this release, everything that went into this, I was blown away at how much work they did. And like I said, Dolby Atmos, the work they did on that, plus the original audio mixes that they gave us, this earned that 9.8 and deserved it. This is a must buy. If you haven't seen this film, you need to buy it so you can enjoy just a fun, lighthearted, comedic 80s film that is a classic that you will be glad you added it to your collection. And I mean, the slipcover to me, I love artwork like this. As most of you know, I used to be an artist many years ago, and I used to do art for different studios. And if you want to know about that, you can always watch my questions and answers video I did here a while ago. It's called the behind the scenes questions and answer video. I kind of go into a little bit of my history and things that I've done before and show off some of my artwork from before. I really thought the artwork on this, the person that worked on this, did a good job harkening back to so many different things, how they're dressed and everything to the 80s. And that's why I said the artwork on this was just a huge bonus as well. But 9.8 is an outstanding review score for this release of Real Genius. I am shocked we got this much work done on this kind of a title that a lot of people just have never watched or heard of. But it's rated PG. It's one of those films that's not too intense, but you can sit back, have a drink, have whatever you want, enjoy the film, have a laugh, and you'll end up wanting to watch it again sometimes. Saturday afternoons, a Sunday afternoon, something like that. It's just a fun film. You pop it in every once in a while, kind of like what used to be on TV when I was growing up. You kind of turn on the TV on a Saturday afternoon, it'd be some random movie that would be lighthearted or a family film. This is one of those, it's just a good time. You really can't go wrong with this film. 9.8, you must buy this and pick this up. I posted that link down below in the description section below. If you do decide to pick it up, make sure to click down through those links. It takes you straight out to Amazon. That's at no extra charge to you, but that does help to support this channel just a little bit. But as far as that old Blu-ray goes, you're never going to use that old Blu-ray if you own it. You're going to sell it, get rid of it, because there is no comparison, the night and day difference in the quality of what you've seen above compared to this. This really is that much of a night and day shocking difference that I'm just still so surprised and shocked that Sony did this much work for Real Genius that I just never thought would happen. Now, talking about releases, I wish they'd do as much work as they did on this. Can't we get the second Zorro movie? I mean, I liked their Zorro 4K release, but I really want that second one. I loved the second one as well. Now, maybe some of you say there's other ones, and that's fine. But we've got all the Men in Black ones, and can't we get the second Zorro movie on 4K Ultra HD? I don't stream, I don't do any of that junk. I just want it on 4K Ultra HD. Give us a Dolby Vision, a Dolby Atmos for that one. Man, I'll be happy. But anyhow, let me know in the comment section below if you're excited for this release, if you're gonna pick it up. Let me know if you're excited and want them to release that Zorro movie, the second one, if you're a fan of those. Start that conversation in the comment section below. I always love to hear from all of you. Now, as I've talked about recently, if you enjoy all the hard work that I put into these videos, just like this one, it takes me anywhere between 3 to 4 days of hard work to create these. The only way I can continue to always create this content is through all of your support. So make sure to join my Collectors VIP Club. That VIP Club is the best way possible to support the creation of all of this content here on my YouTube channel. And it costs you less than the price of a cup of coffee. And that's each month that it goes into this channel and helps me to keep producing and creating all this content, because I am not sponsored and I am not paid by anybody. The only way I continue to create all this is through all of you, my viewers' support. And as most of you know, I work extremely hard to bring all this content to all of you continually. So please consider joining my VIP club or give us super thanks through the super thanks button down below. All of that goes right back into the creation of all these videos. That's how I'm able to go out there and get all of this and spend all this time and money creating all this exclusive content. And for all of you that have supported me over the years here on my YouTube channel, I do just want to say a wholehearted thank you. It's not possible for me to continue doing this without all of your financial support. And those of you that have financially supported me along the way and still do, thank you so much. It means the world to me and my YouTube channel. Now, if you want to help this channel to grow as well, I'm really hoping to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Please make sure to share these video links on any groups you're in, Facebook groups, Twitter, Instagram, doesn't matter, any groups you're in about movies. Please make sure to share my video so that others can find out about all this exclusive content that I create here on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. I hope all of you have a blessed day, and I've always got something new and exciting coming out very soon.